we're back. Welcome, everybody. I see I have slight issues with my internet. I hope you guys can still hear and see me. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I hope so. Yeah, we're back. What we're doing is basically an extension. Dawn just sent me a message saying we forgot something important. The previous live stream about the Lexus, right, is basically to show you guys that they could have reconstructed where they were, like, and also what I forgot to mention is that they did not take any trace lifts of the Lexus. So no, not on the steering wheel, not on the driver's side, passenger side, back seats, nothing. So that's really, really, really weird that they didn't do this. So they fully concentrated on his work truck, but yeah, so be it. Let's get started. I'm gonna put my little screen up for you guys to see, and after that we are gonna have an open panel discussion. I have time. I'm off tomorrow, so should be interesting. So don't be shy, guys. Join me on my panel. The only thing I ask you to do, please, in the background, please turn your camera on for a few seconds so I can see that you are a real person. Dave G said that it happened all the time on panels, that like bots and all these people come in, and yeah, I don't want this to happen, because if that happens, I will have to end that live stream immediately. So no worries. If you don't want to be on camera, you don't have to. Just if you join the panel in the background, so only I can see that you are who you say you are. All right. Okay, I'm going to turn my camera off and get right into this. Oh my God, I got to change my little profile picture. This was like 5 years ago. I'm not looking anything like it. All right, who cares? Let's go. Share. So I'm not seeing chat as always when I do a presentation. So if anything happens, please scream and shout. All right. Data doesn't lie. The Sunday whereabouts. As I said in my previous live stream, I also did that in great detail in my Timeline of Death series that is going to be continued soon. But yeah, people always ask me, like, I didn't understand this or I didn't understand that. It's too much. It's, and that's why I'm going to be picking little sections out of my previous live streams to present you in a better, greater detail, so we can talk about it in, basically in detail, and it goes under, so much data and stuff. So before we get into August the 12th on Sunday, I want to show you something I noticed while preparing for that stream. NK pulls her own data from a broken SIM card. And these are the messages she had exchanged with Kevin Kovac. I just put them up again so you can see the dates, right? This was Wednesday, August the 22nd. She's going in, providing her phone and all that stuff. Here, same again. They have an exchange of many messages. She's pleading with them for, I need you to approve that therapist, and I'm such a victim, and I don't know, what to do, and blah, blah. So then look at this. She tells him on the 23rd at 8:33 a.m., she says, I got access to my old phone and the SIM card is broken, so I couldn't swap them out. I need to either find a phone or I need to go to Verizon. Okay, so she's saying she has an old phone and her SIM card is broken. Poor girl. Then she starts sending Kobach the messages she found. Do you guys notice what I mean? Do you guys get what I mean? She is sending him screenshots from a different device, a broken SIM card, and she has messages on there she exchanged with Chris Watts. So how does she obtain those messages? This isn't from an iPhone. This is clearly from an Android phone. Clearly. So where did she get those messages from? If she did not have at the time those messages were exchanged with Chris, a different phone or a second phone. See here in a close-up. This is not iMessage. This is text message, and this is the Android menu. So how did she obtain all these messages if they were sent with her iPhone? Why are they all of a sudden on an Android? And plus, on top of that, from a broken SIM card. Weird, no? What do you guys think? Pounding fruit and veg. Really, really, really weird in my opinion. Yeah, Tumbleweed, she has an older phone and she has a her iPhone. And she's pleading with them. She's saying, "No, I only have this phone," right? So she obtains those messages from a broken SIM card. And Kobach tells her, "We already have all your messages." And she's like, why would I have to sign that paperwork? Thanks for the information. It's not like that I'm mad or something, right? So, really suspicious to me. Okay, here you can see, and this is not Chris Watts messages. This is just an example of how an iMessage looks compared to a text message on an iPhone. As you can see here, the blue is always the iMessage, doesn't work when you don't have a connection. If you don't have a connection, then the message will be forwarded as a text message. And this is what it looks like on an iPhone when you send a text message. It shows up in green. Here, for example, this is the messages provided by Cody. This is what he sent to him in the morning of. As you can see here, iMessage, right? All in blue. He had connection, no problem, everything fine. iMessage. Here you see McCoy's phone. Messages exchanged with McCoy. Doesn't it look the same to you? Those messages were not written on her iPhone. They were written on an Android phone. Absolutely. No doubt about it. Because look at it. It's identical. So, was there a burner phone involved or something? Or did she use her old phone from time to time? Is that why we don't see certain messages or certain phone calls coming up? As Chris said, she called me all day Monday, or she messaged me all the time on Monday. Is that why it didn't show up on her iPhone? What kind of SIM card did she use? It was broken, right? So very, very, very weird. All right, let's get into August the 12th. And I have maybe a very unpopular opinion, but I actually do believe her when she says she went to the museum. And here's why. The Dead Sea Scrolls were, there was an exhibition of the Dead Sea Scrolls from March 16, 2018 to the 3rd of September 2018. As we all know, they were talking about the Dead Sea Scrolls, and Chris probably asked her, she deleted it, but he probably asked her if he can buy the Dead Sea Scrolls, right? So he has no knowledge of what that actually is. And then she tells him, dude, you cannot buy the Dead Sea Scrolls. It's an old writing, a biblical document. So there was an exhibition, and I put you guys the opening hours as well on the site. So they are open every day. This is the Colorado Museum of whatever, can't remember. What does it say? Museum of Nature and Science in Denver. So they are open every day from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and most Fridays from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. even. On Thanksgiving, only from 9 a.m. To 3 p.m., except December 25th. So, except at December 25th, obviously, Christmas, they're closed. So I do kind of believe her when she says she went to the museum. On August the 12th, she's calling in the morning for 30 minutes. She's calling Chris for 30 minutes. At 11:30 a.m., she's calling Jim. And at 5:24 p.m., she's also calling Jim. As you can see here, these are the router logs from August the 12th. It goes, it's sorted like from the first one is the bottom one, and then it goes up. I couldn't convert that for some reason today. So Sunday, August the 12th, the birthday day of the Lindstrom kid, at 9:26, 39 seconds, he locked, or he connected to his home router on his work phone. Before that, she calls him for 30 minutes. After that, she pings in North Glen, in Thornton. So I'm guessing she was at home up until 11:30. So he pings, he connects to his home router at 9:29. He could have had left the house a little bit, or was out of range, or turned the phone on, or was on the phone, or something like that. Those events happen, and as soon as you hang up the phone or turn it on, it will connect to your home router. Same with his personal phone. This connected back into his router at 12:15. Unfortunately, we do not have the data from August 11th or August 10th. That would have been very interesting. Law enforcement does have it. They did not release it for whatever reason, but you can read in the discovery that they give little timelines of events, like when he visits the Thayers on July the 4th, I think it was. Then they put that he connected to their router, and that, with his work phone and with his personal phone. So they have all that data, but they don't give us that much. Then here, an unknown Apple device. I came to the conclusion that this is some sort of an unknown Apple device that was not in their house. It was not registered to their router, simply because this is not a IP renewal, which happens every 12 or 24 hours on some devices. If that was some device they had, like an iPad or a watch or whatever, it would come up again 12 hours later or the next day at the same time. And this is not the case. So one event, not a IP renewal or an update or anything. This shows up only once at 10, 12, 20. So he was at home, definitely up until 12:15, How do we know that? Because this goes here. Because he's connecting to his home router. At 8:09, Shanann asked how the girls were. Watts said they were good and drinking a shake. Shanann replied, "Miss you guys. Give them kisses for me." Watts said he would, and Shanann told him to have a great day. After that, she calls him for 30 minutes. Phone connects, as we said. At 9:57 a.m., Shanann asked Watts, "Can you do me a favor today if you have time? Can you get the girls' backpacks ready for tomorrow with blankies and spare clothes, please?" This is what Dave G mentioned, that they were ready packed, found in her office. "If not, I can do it in the AM, Watts said he would. Shanann asked Watts to send her some pictures of the girls. "I miss them." And he sends her those 2 pictures of Bella and Cece at 10:32. As you can see, he's still at home at 10:32. 10:20, this unknown Apple device connects to his home router, and it can only connect if it is known to the network. So if, let's say, that is a person with her or his phone comes and visits Chris, and he shared the Wi-Fi key with that person, their phone would always be recognized by their home router, and you don't have to put in the key. Again, it automatically would connect you to their router, so you have Wi-Fi. At 10:45, Watts searched Google for Mount Colima. He preserved an image of the volcano spewing lava and smoke. At 11:13, Shanann asked if the girls were taking a nap. Watts said they were just laying down. Shanann asked Watts, "If you have time before they wake and want to call me back, I'd love to talk to you." Watts said okay, but he never did. An hour later, he connects to his home router. That would mean that he was either on the phone within this hour of connecting from 11:13 to 12:15, or he wasn't in the house. So either he hung up the phone at 12:15, so he reconnects to his router, or he was outside, out of range for the Wi-Fi, being on whatever, in the garage, or I don't know, wherever he was. Then half an hour later, and this is why I do believe that she was at the museum, she's saying, "No, you can't buy the scrolls. LOLC. Dude, the Dead Sea Scrolls are some of the oldest, most important writing in the world." She sends this at 12:45. At 1:30, Watts took photographs of the girls playing in the distance in a backyard near a small pool, the Lindstrom birthday party. So here you go. We know for a fact that by 1:30 p.m., he was at the Lindstrom's birthday party. Then at 2:46, Ronnie asked if Watts and the girls were doing well. Watts said yes. Ronnie responded, "Okay, we love you guys." Timeline entry 7687 to 7690. So the incoming message of Ronnie would be 7687. Watts replying yes would be 7688. Ronnie responding okay would be 7689, and we love you guys would be 7690. This is how those timeline entries work. So now let's take a look here. From 1:30 to 2:46 until Ronnie texts him, there are 2 timeline entries missing. So something on his phone in between here happened. Could be that he took additional images, could be that he sent a message, could be anything, basically. Okay, then he says, nice, that sounds like a good time. I haven't seen an IMAX in a while. Sounds like you're having a fun day with the folks. I'm still at the birthday party. Kids are soaked from water balloons. So by 3:14 p.m., he was still at the birthday party. 3:56 p.m., Shanann asked if the girls had fun at the party. Watts said they were still there and they were having fun. Shanann replied, good, I'm glad. Okay, love you. Watts did not respond. Here the same thing. Item number, timeline entry ending with the message of Ronnie at 7690. Then in between, a message coming in from him. Obviously, he responded to a different message. So what does tell us this? They exchanged at least 4 messages, which we only have one of, this one. So from 7690, this one, let's say this is 7691, then is at least another 3 or 4 missing here. So they exchanged more messages than NK was willing to show us. Same thing here. He is telling her, been pounding fruit and had a whole jar of asparagus. He didn't smoke any barbecue this time. He did hot dogs, so I did the fruit and veggies. This is what he tells NK at 4:07 p.m. And this is where we are going to lose track. So far, I'm just gonna check the chat real quick. Is everything so far okay? Do you guys understand what I'm blabbing about? If there are no questions so far, then I just move on with some coffee. Okay, so at 4:07, we don't really know if he still was there, right? Because he's talking in the past, been pounding fruit and had a whole jar of asparagus. He didn't smoke any barbecue this time, so it could have been that he wasn't there anymore. It could be, because he's talking past tense. Then he's still not at home. By 4:56, his phones, neither his work phone nor his personal phone did connect to his home router at that time. So at 4:56, Watts searched Google for Parikuden, a volcano. At 5:06, Watts told Cody Roberts, the coworker, I have the whip checks for the Service 629. I'm gonna go straight out there from my house in the morning. I will look at the 319 as well and run the 1129 if you want. Written from item 40, work phone. Item 41, personal phone. Then at 5:07, Watts called Sandy Rusak and held a nearly 12-minute conversation. Some people say that was a FaceTime call, but FaceTime calls are not registered. So it's basically a Wi-Fi service, and you wouldn't see it in any phone bill. This is why we don't see the FaceTime calls in case phone bill. But here again, isn't it weird that he is Googling volcanoes? 10 minutes later, he is sending Cody a message, and while, sending him back and forth messages, he speaks to Sandra on the phone, on his personal phone. At 5:20, Roberts replied, I was going to head out there first thing tomorrow to check out the 319. Did Troy talk to you about what I found out there Friday afternoon? 3 minutes later, Watts answered, Yep, I was standing right next to him. I was giving him a fire stick to look at. I can go out there though. No sense in both of us going out there, lol. So here you see the timeline adds up. Item number 40, timeline entry 42, going back and forth, it adds up. So every timeline entry on his work phone is accounted for. Then at another 3 minutes later, he's searching for the Dead Sea Scrolls. He probably did not believe that he cannot buy them. So he is basically thinking about the message she sent to him on her Android phone. Gotta make that clear. And he's looking for the Dead Sea Scrolls. At 5:24, so 2 minutes before that, she calls Jim for 2 minutes. He's still not at home. So up until 5:26, he's still not at home. No connecting to his router, nothing. And people say, oh, maybe he turned his phone off. No, this is proof that he didn't, because he was texting and calling Sandra, right? Texting from his work phone and possibly texting from his personal phone and calling Mrs. Rusek. So, move on. Still not at home. Now it's getting dark, slowly. At 6:09, Roberts responded, all right, sounds good, man. I appreciate it. I think I still have a couple of conies left out there. I can let you know in the morning. And my friend Mary, she explained to me what conies are. I already forgot what it is, but it's some sort of tool or what they need out there in the oil fields. I can let you know in the morning. And then let me know if you find anything at the 319. If not, we may pressure test the BP line and see if it's leaking underground. At 6:44, a photo was created in his image file documenting the temperature setting in the refrigerator. 3 minutes after that, a photo of 4 chicken breasts on a barbecue grill was created in his image file. So when the technician says that an image was created in his image file folder, that doesn't mean that he took that image. There's so much misinformation out there. People are saying that Betty said she saw him on the back porch having a barbecue. But that's actually not true. Because if you go back to Betty's interview, she says she saw them in the summer, like when Shanann's parents were there. They always had barbecues in the backyard. This is what Betty says. And she does not say, I saw him grilling chicken or whatever he grilled on the back porch that day. So there's no witnesses. Nobody saw or heard them. Betty clearly states that she did not see the kids on Sunday. So creating an image file is basically transferring an image into a folder. He could have screenshotted, downloaded, searched, stuff like that, and put it in a folder. So, when you download a picture, it goes into your folder. So it says a photo was created in his image file. That means he downloaded something, a photo of the temperature setting in the refrigerator and chicken breasts on a barbecue grill. Why ever he did that, I have no clue. But yeah, he also, searched for volcanoes and stuff like that. So who knows what was on his mind. Yeah, just to clear that up. At 7:46, an hour later, that technician does not give us anything like timeline entry wise. So we don't know what he did in an hour. It's an hour here from 6:47 to 7:46, 59 minutes. We don't know what happened. What we know happened is that he still wasn't at home. Shanann asked, "Hey honey, kids in bed," and asked for pictures. Watts replied, "Bella just back in bed." Shanann noted, "They must be exhausted." So Shanann is asking for pictures again. And we all know, even though the kids might be in bed or sleeping, Shanann always took pictures of the kids, even if she took pictures of the baby monitor. So why didn't he do that? Then he does the following. Watts resend the images from earlier in the day at the dinner table. He added this image taken later in the day at the birthday party, the last known photograph of Bella in life. So instead of, taking a picture of the baby monitor when they are in bed, or he says Bella just got back to bed, where's Cece? He did not say anything about Cece. Why doesn't he send her pictures of the girls in bed? They always did take pictures of the girls sleeping, right? Or on the couch or whatever. So no, he didn't do it. He resent images from earlier of the day. Still not at home. Then at 54, Shanann told Watts the power went out during dinner with Cindy and Addie before the airport. She sent a photograph of the darkened restaurant. She commented on the photographs he just sent. "Great job on Bella's hair," Watts replied. "That sucks." "Yeah, she cooperated," Shanann explained. "Really bad dust storm, rain, thunder, and lightning." Shanann said Cindy bought their dinner. Shanann concluded, "Praying it doesn't cancel flight. Eddie's flight was canceled this morning." So it adds up, timeline-wise, 7746. She sent him messages and 7747 through 7753. At 8:20, still not at home, Shanann called Watts and held a 9-minute conversation. Revealing how their talk went, immediately after this call, she told Watts, "Sorry I bothered you. I just wanted to talk to you." And here, as you can see, 5 timeline entries missing in between on his personal phone. It goes from 7753 up to 7758. So there are 5 missing in between. Then at 8:31, Shanann told Addie she can call Chris about Jack. He's up. At 8:33, 2 minutes later, Shanann told Watts, "Thank you for taking good care of the kids this weekend so I can learn and work. I appreciate it." And they give us only her timeline entries. Then at 8:45, still not home, Watts returned a missed call to Addie. So Addie already called him, but he didn't pick up. Why? And held a 16-minute conversation. Moments later, he told Shanann, "You're welcome. I just talked to Addie." In their follow-up messages, it is clear Watts offered Addie mechanical advice on her car. And now, check this out. So at 8:45, he returns a missed call to Eddie. We don't really know how long that call lasted, but I'm assuming it lasted about 15 minutes, 16 minutes. Why? Because when he hangs up with Eddie, all of a sudden, his personal phone connects to his home router. So sometime during that call to Addie, he must have came home. As I told you before, when you walk in on the phone, which he did quite a few times on the 13th as well, and he hangs up the phone, immediately, we showed you already in a different live stream, immediately his phone connects to the router. And so here as well, calls her at 8:45, hangs up the phone and connects to the router, but has not connected after the birthday party. No connection. Not at home. Still not at home. No connection in the home router. Nothing. Up until 9 p.m. 9 minutes later, Shanann asked Watts, "What kind of vegetables do you want with dinner tomorrow?" Watts replied, "Green beans." Shanann said she would buy them tomorrow at Costco along with other items. This adds up. This could be the phone call or messages 7768 through 7770. Then Shanann soon told Watts that she was ready to come home. "I'm ready for bed." So here another 5 timeline entries missing. Then here the famous 111-minute phone call starts at 9:28. So really weird that he comes home half an hour later, roughly. He calls her at 9:29. So 1 minute after the 111-minute phone call started, Shanann made an unanswered call to Watts. And then we see this on Nate's camera. Already presented it numerous times, but I'm gonna present it to you again. At 9:37, headlights. So 8 minutes or 9 minutes after the phone call started with NK. Here again. Headlights, motion detected, headlights. And this is Chris Watts' house right here to the left. And you see headlights showing up at 9:45. At 9:44, Shanann told Watts, "Tried calling you to give you an update, was starting to board, and they announced that our crew isn't here yet, and it's going to be a minimum of an hour before they are here." Immediately after the call with NK ends, Chris's phone connects to his home router at 11:20, 111 minutes, or 110 minutes and 36 seconds. Right? So, do you get the picture? Was he outside? Was he going somewhere? 9:37, was he driving somewhere through 9:45? Going somewhere, coming back at 9:45? We might never know. So he immediately connects back to his home router, and a minute later, he replied to Shanann, "Holy crap, sorry I passed out on the couch, that's gonna be late." And as we can see here, he did nothing other than talking to NK on the phone, because the timeline entry adds up, 7780 followed by 7781. So in between, he did nothing on any phone, no text messages, no nothing. He just was on the phone with NK. 4 minutes after that, headlights show up again, captured on Nate's footage. And I wished he would have clicked on it so we could see the video, but he didn't. So here again, headlights show up. He was at home, definitely at 11:20. And at 11:25, headlights show up. Was that her? Maybe. Did he ask her to come by? So there's gaps. I just told you he did not connect, neither on his work phone nor on his personal phone, to his home router up until 9 p.m. and 20 something seconds. So where was he, assuming he left the birthday party sometime around 4 p.m.? So there's a 5-hour gap from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. And there's also it's a 4-hour gap from 5:24 to 9:28 p.m. This is when she calls Jim, and then we don't know her whereabouts. As you remember, as I told you and showed you, the museum is open till 5. So I do believe her when she says she was looking at the Dead Sea Scrolls. I truly do, because you can't make that up unless they have really, really criminal energy to come up with something like that. But obviously her dad was with her or something. So at 5:24, we place her at home. She pings in Thornton again, right? So we know she was at home. But where was she at between 5:24 and 9:28? And where was she at from 9:28 to 6:16? This day is really weird because they never go without calling each other up until the next morning, right? So where were they? He wasn't at home. He did not turn his phone off, as people assume, because he was texting, he was calling Sandra for 12 minutes. Or Frank, I believe, said he had a FaceTime call, but that wasn't the 12-minute phone call because it's not registered. Then after that, he said he's not sure if he was FaceTiming the kids. So where was Chris Watts from 4 p.m. after the birthday party to 9 p.m.? And where was NK from 5:24 to 9:28? Because at 9:28 she was at home, pinging again in her hometown Thornton. And then after that, we lose track. Could she be one of these headlights appearing? I doubt that she makes it in 9 minutes from Thornton to Frederick. I don't know. So I don't think that's a possibility. But he could have left, maybe, you know. And here at 11:25, shortly after the phone call ended, 5 minutes after the phone call ended, headlights show up again. And I'm going a little bit into the August the 13th before we're discussing this. Not too much though. So at 1:11, he connects back into his home router. So the last time he did this was at 11:20, right? So we can assume that he wasn't at home from 11:20 up until he connected back at 1:11. Was he picked up from that person showing up here? That's an hour, 2 hours almost, until he reconnects. And there's no calls registered anywhere, not with her, not with him, nothing on his work phone, nothing. No messages, nothing in the 2 hour gap. So was he picked up by a vehicle at 11:25, left, and this is why he reconnects only at 1:11 a.m. in the morning on the 13th? At 1:30 a.m., a witness that was never followed up on reports a suspicious acting white SUV on Highway 52 near Anderson Farm. And this was a lady, she was coming home back from work. She works, if I remember correctly, she works as a nurse. And her husband is a police officer as well, or her ex-husband. So he connects at 1:11, then the witness sees at 1:30 a.m. And this Anderson Farm thing, I'm going to show you after that presentation where that is. It's a 6-minute drive, and there is no shortcuts. So that's why it's a 6-minute drive. You cannot, other or you drive through the field, so there is no road. 6 minutes from the Watts house. Somebody there acting suspicious in a white SUV. Enough to make that woman call police. Then he reappears on his home router, logs back in or connects back 20 minutes later at 1:32, 2 minutes after the witness saw the white SUV. He takes a call or makes a call or whatever he does here because he connects. It's not a long call if he did take or make a call. It's only like 2 minutes. And we know who likes to take and make 2-minute phone calls, right? He reconnects 2 minutes later. 12 minutes later, Shanann's phone connects to the home router. This is when she walks in. He gets a Vivint alert at 1:48. Watts' phone logged the Vivint alert of Shanann's entry into their home. At the same moment, the Vivint video monitor captured Shanann as she walked up to the home and entered. Udoft, that is Nichol Atkinson, was captured backing out of the driveway. So we all saw that video, right? I don't have to put it up again. And this is significant here. Between 1:48 and 4:23, there was no movement detected on the main floor of the home. As we all know, and I presented last year sometime shortly after I started my YouTube channel, I told you guys about the steps and the activity on Shanann's phone, and that she climbed 3 sets of stairs from when landing at the airport. So I do not believe that she ever went up those stairs. Her phone ceased activity at 1:51 a.m. So the phone was turned off and ceased activity at 1:51 a.m., 3 minutes after she got in the house. Up until then, at up to 4:23, there was no movement detected on the main floor. And this is why I believe, and that's just my personal opinion, I have no proof for it, I believe he went through the basement window. And Catherine C., as I said many times, she actually found the window where the screen was taken off. And the screen was stored behind the basement stairs. Up until 4:23, no movement on the main floor. And if he would have walked up and down, as he said he was, like being upstairs, crawling into bed or whatever he said, the motion detector in the living room would have captured that and sent it to Vivint, but this never happened. Then he connects again. The unknown Apple device connects at 5:25, and this is the only time something is connected. So was he going through the basement window without his phones? Where was his personal phone? His personal phone never reconnected unless he had it at home. Like he went out, had it at home. So then again here, the unknown Apple device all of a sudden logs into their home router at 5:25. And this is when Don made that little timeline. It lines up with him walking in and out of the garage, phone connecting, reconnecting, and so on and so on. The times line up with him entering the garage. Except the unknown Apple device. I don't know what this device is. It's definitely not an IP renewal. So the last time his work phone connects to the home router is when he last enters the garage or shuts the door or whatever at 5:43 and 40 seconds. Then when he gets home at 4:07, see that? Here's the unknown Apple device again. So did he possibly have a different phone as well? Connects, and followed by his personal phone some 50, 40 seconds later. This is when they found Shannon's phone and turned it on. And half an hour later, almost, his personal phone connects to the home router, even though he walks in with his personal phone. That does tell me that he or somebody was on the phone listening in, like I said and explained in numerous other live streams and in my timeline of death. So that was it for the whereabouts. Now I gotta read up on chat like really crazy. Who had his personal phone exactly? I mean, unless it was at home, like he left it at home when he was out. But I truly do believe, I don't believe his version, because that motion sensor in the living room would have captured him coming down the stairs. It would have logged a vivid event for sure, for sure. But it didn't. So there are 5-hour gaps and 4-hour gaps in the timeline. Where was it? Here. So where was CW for 5 hours? Okay, let's give him half an hour, to get home. Let's say he was, 4:30. That's still 4.5 hours gap. Where did he go? Were the kids even coming back home? Where were the kids? Cigarettes in the basement, yeah. I don't know if who smoked. I heard that the cigarettes were a leftover from when the family was staying there, when Shannon, when they looked after the kids. But who knows? They don't give what kind of cigarette that was. They don't give many things, right? So do I have to read up, or just want somebody? I'm gonna send the link now to join me on panel in the chat. Like I said, please, in the background, I'm not gonna be putting you up. So don't worry when you don't want to turn your camera on. Just so I see who you are. I'm gonna put up the link and you can join me if you want for discussion. Don't be shy, you guys. I'm not biting anyone. Even though people say I'm biting. I'm not. Okay. Let me just read a little bit. I have no clue what went on in chat. So sorry. Yeah. Yes, Catherine. Someone was in the basement under the stairs. Things were moved around. If you look at pictures closely, you will see. Exactly. For example, Catherine and I sent pictures back and forth, and stuff was rearranged, right? You see different, you just see stuff rearranged when compared to when Coonrod first searched the basement, compared to when, for example, Officer James or Sergeant James and Officer Bakes were present on the scene. Oh, we have Lucy. Lucy, would you please turn your camera on for 1 minute so I see who you are? Thank you so much. And we have Mitch. I'm gonna put you guys up now. In case you want to turn your camera off, do it now. Hello, welcome. Hello. Hello. Hello, Mitch. Hello, Lucy.
Hello.
Panel.
Hello. Hello. How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
Good,
Hello.
thanks.
Hi,
I'm
Lucy.
excited.
Hi.
I've never
You
I've
excited?
never done this before.
There
Me
you go.
neither.
Should be a great
So I'll
discussion.
go. I think so. So far it's been very good. I just learned how to put the camera on. So that's
Oh,
I'm excited about that. So I'm going to turn my camera off now since you've seen me.
yes, absolutely. Thank
Okay?
you.
Okay.
You can leave it on too.
Okay.
I mean, pretty lady.
Ah, thank you. Remove from stream. Stop mic. No, I don't want to do that.
And stuff was rearranged, right? You see different, you just see stuff. Hello, Nanya business.
Hey, how are you? Can you hear me?
When yes, hi.
Oh,
How are you?
hey,
First
good.
searched the basement.
I can't.
Somebody has the TV on or YouTube on very loud.
That
Mitch,
would
is
be
that
me.
possibly
Hold
you?
on. I gotta unplug the speaker.
Do you like it here?
Uh-oh, what happened? Oh no.
Mitch, would you please turn off YouTube or mute it?
Me? Okay.
You
I
go
don't
out.
think. Oh,
And I'll come back in. Thanks.
No, Mitch, only YouTube, not yourself. Just turn the YouTube down. Yeah.
okay. Hard to
It's
believe I'm a college professor, isn't it? Okay.
Rebecca, I see you in the background, but it says your device is not connected. So go back out and back in. So yeah, what you guys think about where his whereabouts were?
Well, for one thing, I don't think the children ever made it home. So I'm a little suspicious about the party. But I think after that, I think he was in total connection with NK. And I think there was some surprise for Shanann when she got home that Sunday night or Monday morning early. So
Right. So yeah, as I said, I don't, you have a huge gap and people are saying, "Oh,
yes,
he turned off his phone or, he had no connection." But that's not the case. He was texting, he was on the phone with Mrs. Rusek. He did all those things, but he wasn't connecting to his router. So
right,
I don't believe, and that's just my own personal opinion, but according to the data we have, I don't believe he was at home ever.
yeah. So why was he in contact with Shanann's mom?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't
See,
know.
it's a little confusing to me because she called the school the next day 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
Some of that's just not connecting for me.
Yeah, for me neither. Especially that call when she called him or he called her while in North Carolina. And then after that
Right.
call, Shanann asks him, "Are you still alive?"
Yep.
Right? So she didn't
Yep.
know that they were on the phone. I mean, word is out there that she might have been concerned about her daughter, but I don't know what to think about this. And
I
he
know.
never mentioned it either. So
No.
really, really weird.
Real weird. Real weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Sandra
Yeah.
Ross is saying, "I'm with Mitch. I don't think the girls made it home." Yeah, I'm
I
I'm
just don't.
I'm leaning towards that theory as well. So what do you guys think happened in those 4 5 hours where we have that large gap? CW could have been absolutely certain NA wouldn't follow Shanann into the house or help her with her case, etc. If she did and kids were gone, it would have been game over then. That's also true. That's true. He must have been certain, but maybe he was, because when she picked her up for the airport to go to Arizona, she didn't come in either. Shanann walked out or was waiting outside for her. And I don't think that NA would have came in simply because not to wake the girls up, right? So, maybe they discussed how expensive the school was. What do you mean by that? Frankie was on the phone to him, not Sandra. How do you know that, Kay?
Yeah.
We've lost them. And then the blind spots.
And what were they talking about?
No, just get them back.
Mitch, you gotta turn your TV down, please. The
Yeah,
volume.
okay, hold on.
Not yourself, the TV.
I had to tell my husband he's watching James Bond. So
Okay.
I had to tell him to turn James down. I'm
James
sorry
is
for
down.
yeah,
Okay.
James is down. I am sorry that that feedback was
Yeah.
coming.
So you guys put a 1 in chat if you think that the girls did not make it home, and put a 2 in chat if you think the data is wrong or they held something from us to not see him connecting to the router. That would be interesting to see what you guys think. Oh, no, she doesn't believe. Shadow Dancer doesn't believe it either. Didn't Frank Sr. say that he FaceTimed with them Sunday evening, but I don't remember him saying they were at home. He did say that, and then afterwards, I believe he said he can't remember, or he might have not FaceTimed them. And FaceTime is not recorded either. So, yeah. So I think he came, he went through the basement. He possibly, or she went down the basement and she went through the basement out the back. And the screen missing Catherine found is on the, I think when you walk in on the left. Is that right, Catherine? And their fence is not very high, so you could easily lift somebody over there. I'm gonna have an interesting theory as well, but I'm gonna put that up when I do the autopsy. The girls were very uncomfortable with being with people they didn't know, in my opinion. They were taken from the house by a close family member on Sunday before Shanann got home. Yeah. They're so little. Didn't she say that? I mean, she must have seen them at some point. Don't you agree, Mitch?
I sure do. She saw them. Because she even gave their height. She even showed their height, like with her hand. No,
Right.
that was, yeah. She's seen them. There was another one that I heard that she actually met them. Whether or not that's true. No. I'm sorry. I'm getting confused with is that guy who said he had an affair with. He was bananas. The guy who said he had an affair with Chris Watts.
Oh, Trent.
Yes, Trent.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He's
All
a little
right.
crazy.
Yeah. The reason she the possible reason that she could show how high or tall the girls were is she might have listened in when Chris was talking to Officer Goodman on Tuesday morning or
true.
Tuesday night, or when that was, right? So he tells Officer Goodman they're such and such in height and their weight and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So she could have listened into that. There may have been talk amongst the adults at the birthday party about financial trouble, and that they saw the family in a hole. A child may have misunderstood that and taking it for a literal hole. Yes. Yeah. I think that kid mimicked his dad. Hello, Dave. None your business. Hello.
How is everyone?
I'm good. How is your new job?
Oh, I start later today, so it's awesome. It's great. It's I
Good.
get to start at a proper time. So anyway, I just wanted to pop on here and say a quick hello to Midge and None Your Business and yourself.
Hi.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Perfect.
Oh, thank God.
Perfect.
I think I got it.
Yes, well, the Sunday issue has always been my big concern, especially in NK's interview with a father when she suddenly became very, very tired and she couldn't remember where she was Sunday. And I think you're right. She was at the museum, but I think she's thinking more so, where was I between 5:30 and 6:16 in the morning? I think that's what she was trying to figure out. Where was she in those hours? And
Yeah.
I think you've hit the nail completely on the head with the way you've presented the timeline today. It's very, very factual. Chris pretty much was not home between 4 and 9. At 9:02 was when his phone first pinged. 9:28, his phone call commences with NK. 11:19, the phone call ends, and then he reconnects. At 1:32 a.m. is the last time his phone connects to his home router until
Personal phone, yes.
his personal phone until he gets home from work on Monday afternoon. And in those wee hours of the morning, his phone went somewhere with someone, in my opinion, and he never saw it again until probably 9:30 a.m. roughly, when his work phone connects. When his work phone comes into the Roggan area, and at 9:30 his work phone meets his personal phone at Survey 319.
Great
So
recap.
I think both phones were completely separated. I think that basically proves when it occurred, sometime between 1:30 and 4:26 a.m. That phone was disconnect. They were separated.
Right. Super Sunshine Sue, what if girls were handed to someone else after that? Just thoughts? Yeah, this brings us back to the kidnapping theory that Chris mentioned when David Cullen was at his house, right?
Yes, that's correct.
So he's telling David Cullen something, or he never mentioned it, David Cullen says, but they were talking about a kidnapping. And then
Correct.
when Chris walks into the interrogation room, he says, "Oh, Sandy said not to talk to anyone if that is a kidnapping." And then Tammy Lee says, like, not to talk to anyone, not to talk to the police. And he says, like, no, to the media. So yeah,
Yes.
this is still a possibility. None of your business. What do you think?
I'm not really sure. I can't stop obsessing about this question I have.
Okay, shoot.
I wondered if anybody verified what time Chris left the party. Like, did law enforcement ever verify with someone in person where they could say what time he left?
They asked Chris. They actually asked Chris at one stage what time he got home, and he said between 4:30 and 5.
Right, but did anybody actually verify what time he left?
I highly doubt
Like
it.
he could, yeah, okay.
No, there's
No.
no
Also,
verification anywhere.
Never heard anything. I think I was looking for that in Lindstrom's interview, but I couldn't hear him saying anything about when he left. Just when he arrived, and he said about 1 p.m. or something he arrived, but he never said that he left or what time he left. Never.
He left home at
okay,
12:50 p.m. to go to the party.
Right.
To go
okay,
to it.
all right. And a sim question, if I could. I know
Absolutely.
David said something about this in chat. I know
Yep.
when I had an old Samsung phone, I had to have an adapter for the SIM card. So now I keep hearing all this about, NK broke the SIM card. I mean, how was that supposed to be broken? Or was it because she couldn't use it because she needed an adapter to go from a Samsung to an iPhone?
No,
No.
not with the iPhone. Not from the iPhone. From the
Mm-mm.
iPhone 5 and up, you had your micro SIM. I think it was a
Right.
micro SIM, and they work in any phone. You could just go from a Samsung straight into an iPhone and vice versa. There's absolutely no adapter required. Nothing.
Huh.
You just flick it. The phone just the SIM is basically to give you a phone signal to a cell tower. Once it's already set up, it doesn't matter what phone it actually goes into.
Okay. Next SIM question, if I could.
Sure.
Now, I know everyone keeps coming back to the 2017 search for Shanann and Chris. I heard that a reason for that was because she had been given a used SIM card.
No, not true.
No,
That's not true.
No. That phone
Yeah,
was
'cause
never
it's
owned by Anna Darko, ever. It
Was
no,
always
not the
her own.
phone. Not the phone. The SIM card itself was given to her
No.
by Anna Darko.
No, that was her personal SIM card and her phone plan.
And
Has
the SIM
nothing to
didn't
do
have
with Anna
anything to
Darko.
do with Google search.
Yeah. Hi,
Right, because
Rebecca.
everyone kept saying that it was a used SIM card and it was an old employee SIM card, and they had used it to research Shanann and Chris in regards to an insurance claim from when she had her neck surgery. But that seemed way too convenient for me, because why is only one search showing up on NK's phone, and it just happened to be about Shanann and Chris
There
rather
were
than
thousands of
every
searches
other.
on her phone, and they're only showing us the ones that they wanted us to show. I'm sure there are hundreds and hundreds of more searches that she did
Oh,
on
yeah,
Chris and Kay.
absolutely.
Oh, Chris and
Right.
Shanann. Yeah, they're showing us when the first one occurred, is what they're doing. And there
Right.
would have been hundreds and hundreds of searches that she did on those two. So if you want, if we can somehow someone can get hold of that, the full unredacted discovery, if it would ever
Right.
occur, there will be 153 pages of text messages that we're all going to get to see. There will also be thousands of searches that NK did, and they will all be there, and because it'll all be part of the actual discovery. This is
Right.
why there's only
How
1,000.
legally can they not give the whole discovery? I mean, our tax dollars pay for that.
No, not to the public. As I
What
said,
do you mean?
only legally, as in lawyers, etc. If somebody can get hold of that through Chris, the unredacted discovery,
I see.
okay, you'll be able to see that there'll be a lot of information that they've kept from the public, and I think we'll also find a lot of information kept from the defence, and we'll also find that there's a ton of information that the defence had that they didn't share with their client.
Right. Okay. Well, I think that's it for me. I have to get back to my dessert. I have dinner with you guys.
Oh,
Every time you
nice.
guys have, I do. Same thing, chili chicken and peanut butter pie.
Oh, there you go, talking about chicken on the grill.
I won't take a picture of it, I promise.
No.
You can actually Google and take a screenshot.
Yeah,
Okay, I'm
or
gonna do
Google
it
and
now.
save it to your files.
I'm gonna make it.
Right.
I'm gonna make it my picture.
Right.
There you go. All right. Well, I'm so glad I worked out my technical problems here. I had been fussing and all week about it, but I finally got it to work. So thank you so much.
No problem. You're welcome.
No worries. Thank you, none of your business. Lovely to meet you.
Oh, you
Yeah,
too.
very-
It's been 8 months now?
It's been a while.
Yeah, something like that.
We have
Okay.
Catherine and we have Rebecca here as well.
Yes. The screens there's 2 screens in the basement under the stairs. And I've gone through all the pictures of when law enforcement was going around the house knocking on the windows, and hence Dieter never barking. But the 2 screens that are missing are both on Betty's side of the house. It's the last 2 windows as you're going towards the fence.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So the Mickey Mouse window, there's a screen on that one.
Yeah, I think if she went through the basement and out the back, they would have taken her out of that window where the screen was missing. Because
Exactly.
also Nate states that he saw him leaving and coming from the side gate.
Yep.
Right? So that's another indicator that he was leaving and coming, so Shanann wouldn't see him.
Also under the stairs, during the welfare check, I know both me and TJ have looked at it. You can see that the bins on the far side under the stairs are different during the welfare check from the next day when they went down to do their search with the dogs. There's a big
Right.
difference there.
Yeah, the whole thing. Even I did a live stream on The Office. Even that was rearranged.
Yeah. I believe that was done sometime early Monday morning. Somebody was looking for something special.
Yeah.
It
I
was
don't
just
know.
done. It was strange that you had April and May's, as Tanya's alluded to many times. April and May's credit card statements.
Yes.
Mhm.
So it's yeah,
Yeah,
unusual.
the 10 grand. I mean, I believe that either she spent it on Thrive or she took it to North Carolina for her holiday. Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah.
as
Oh my
just
goodness!
as I said it. Yeah.
Look at Colette's comment. I'd like to know where it says it, but anyway, in Discovery it said NK searched Shanann Watts 2,290 times and Chris Watts 706 times.
There you go.
Get out.
So, what obsession did she have with Shanann?
Mm-hmm. Wow.
I'm under the impression, but here again, only my personal opinion. I think that she knew or met Shanann before she met Chris. Because why else would she look that girl up so many times? I mean, that's not normal. And she also she tells us, I don't have any social media. I don't have Facebook. No, but she's searching for Shanann being missing in posts on Facebook.
Oh, definitely NK was implanted into the Watts life before she even ran into Chris.
Yeah, that's what I'm starting to believe too.
Yeah.
It's just not adding up. She was obsessed with Shanann. Yes, she was.
Absolutely, BLN. Absolutely.
Yeah. I think she was obsessed with Shanann's life. I think so too. But what she didn't know was what was behind closed doors.
Right.
She didn't know in the start that they were drowning in debt. They were, just trying to keep up with the Joneses, basically. She did stalk her. She was obsessed, right? But why? Why did she hate Shanann? Yeah, that's a very good question.
She had the big house. She had the white car. She had she had the Lexus. She had the kids. She had the perfect family.
Yep.
All the
perfect
first,
life.
Every
first.
materialistic thing that NK didn't have, Shanann had.
Mm-hmm.
And she wanted it. And she did anything she possibly could to get it. She emphasizes so many times in her interview about the big house and the big car and the well, she talks about the $80,000 Lexus. She actually gives the price of it,
Mm-hmm.
and then she talks about pawning the ring.
Mhm.
It was everything was money, and she wanted Shanann's life. It was pure
Absolutely,
jealousy.
I agree. Yeah. Rebecca, we haven't heard from you at all. Are you still there? You want to talk to us? Hello.
I wonder if she turned her headset off.
She has not muted herself or anything.
Maybe she stepped away.
Yeah. It's okay, we're waiting. Do you think it was connected to Shannon's life? Do you think it was connected to Shannon's life before she met CW? Could be. I mean, she was in this healthy living lifestyle and all that stuff, right? So why not try and thrive? Maybe she was attending some of these sales events Shannon had going on, or whatever. I don't know.
She could have just joined the Facebook group under an alias.
Yeah.
Like she's probably in this chat right now under
I
an
don't
alien.
doubt that.
I don't
It's
doubt
gonna
that at
ruin
all.
my dessert.
Oh, Muck Boys would be very happy if she was.
He would be. He'd be stoked. Even Muck Boys would put his phone number in chat if he knew she was here.
Oh my God. And then 280 people calling you. If NK is innocent as she makes out, why has she gone into hiding? I don't think she did go into hiding, to be honest. Not many people are talking about this case anymore. Like the main, the general public, for them, they have their main guy, and that's fine, and they move on. Maybe she doesn't know about, probably researching, but still, maybe she doesn't know about the true crime community still talking about this case so much. I mean, she was still living even though she said to Kobach she has a new job out of state. When the Netflix documentary came out, she went to the Colorado, to a Colorado court in Denver. So she was there anyway. And if somebody wants to find her, I mean, yeah, it's easy because her family is still living there. I mean, I don't think she's in hiding at all.
I think Daddy just wanted her to start fresh, put the past behind her, and set it all up.
Yeah, maybe she's
Well,
married.
I've
Maybe
heard.
she
Sorry,
has kids on her own.
I've heard that her mother, Barbara, moved back to Michigan, where she was
Oh,
originally
okay.
from. So there's a distinct possibility NK went with her mum.
Or she could be with Jim.
Yeah. Yep.
Wasn't there even, I can't remember if it was true, but didn't she move in with Jim in September or something? And like I said, this is not proof for anything, or I have no proof, but I heard something like this. But yeah, her safe
Well, if you
place.
follow her phone bill, it's in September when she starts talking to Jim again. They went a number of weeks, as you alluded to me privately. They went a number of weeks without talking after this event. And
Yeah, they were still talking, but not as much anymore.
yeah, and then in September they started to talk a lot more.
Yeah,
So you might be right with that.
yes, and also he always returned her calls, even though she calls him sometimes for a minute or two. I don't know what they are talking in a minute or two. It's I have no clue, but he he most of the times he returns her calls like almost immediately, but not in September. So yeah, maybe he was suspicious himself, or maybe he didn't, he didn't want to be in the public eye or whatever. Many questions.
What I find odd is I've done some research into looking into NK and Jim's history. And prior to her moving to North Glen and getting hired on with Anadarko, she lived with Jim for 2 years in an apartment complex before she moved. And then once she moved, she gives Jim a key. Now, I'm not
Yes.
saying,
Hmm.
it's not unnormal for people to do that, but I just find it a little odd in this case that they were that close.
Yeah. And also that apartment they were living in together is owned by Jim.
Yes.
It's his apartment.
Yeah. So I just find that a little odd.
Interesting question on the screen.
Yeah. Do you think SR was around Saratoga Trail on Sunday? No. I don't think so.
Well, she wasn't supposed to be there, and we can eliminate Shanann. I don't think it's got anything to do with NA turning up on Monday. It's possibly NK. And why did it take, I'm sorry, but why did it take the Rizik 7 days to get to Colorado?
I would have been walking there if I had to.
Sorry, that's the big
That's what I
question
say.
we all have to ask. It's a question that truly does need to be asked. And it's not an accusatory question. It's a question of why.
Yeah,
Your
fill in the
daughter has
blanks.
gone completely missing. Your two beautiful grandchildren have gone completely missing. Why would you not turn up until Sunday, the 19th? That's just, the mind absolutely boggles. So when it takes that long, you have to question why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, and everything has to be then everything has to come into question. That's all I'm saying. I'm not accusing anyone of anything. Everything has to be brought into question when it took them 7 days to get there. That's all.
Yeah, my opinion about this is maybe they were always like this. Maybe, it's their daughter. They knew her. They knew her better than anyone. So, and we know Shanann to be a strong, very strong personality and used to getting her way. Yeah, let's put it this way.
Yeah.
Maybe they really did think, she put her foot down and she might have wanted him to be a little bit of concern or, running after her after all what happened in North Carolina or stuff like that. And that might explain why they did not react the way we would possibly react in a situation like this. So I'm not, trying to incriminate somebody or rule somebody out at all, but we gotta keep these things in mind. Maybe they weren't, they were used to this kind of behavior because we don't know her. We
Right.
think we know her, but we don't, right? So it might have been just normal for the family to say, yeah, okay, she has her 5 minutes and then she will come back, or she just ran away to show Chris, oh, run after me, or stuff like that. This could be.
Right.
But then again, I see that happening. But then again, when it came out on Wednesday that they were all dead, I would have definitely immediately booked a flight or started walking or whatever.
Yeah, I would have been on my way Monday regardless. If I knew they were missing, I'm sorry.
Yeah. I mean, it was unusual that, she was living on her phone.
Yeah.
and
It's
her
just
purse
a,
there, her phone there, everything there. But like I said, maybe that was not the first situation, in their life. We don't know.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. Like the way she walked away from her sorry, I finished my pie. The way she walked away from her former marriage.
Mm-hmm.
She
Yeah.
bang, that was it. No
Mhm.
counseling. I'm leaving. And we don't know what happened after that. She could have pulled disappearing acts during that marriage because it wasn't working out for her.
So true.
Yeah. Yeah.
All
it's
we
just
know
But I
is
a,
get
what
what you're
social
saying,
media
Dave.
has posted.
I'm with you. I'm trying so hard not to say anything, but I understand what you're talking about, Dave, and
why
I
was
think you're on
Sandy
that.
so keen on Monday to call the school 3 times but not turn up,
Right,
and actually then
right,
not come to Colorado at all? Might I add, it was
right.
only the 2 boys that turned up. It was the 2
And
Franks. She
and the
stayed at
what,
home.
12 calls she made to Chris that morning?
No. There was a number of calls she made to Chris. The
Oh,
12
yeah.
calls to Chris were actually on the 25th of July. Those 12 calls where she spoke to Chris a few times for a total of 30 minutes. But she did call Chris a number of times on the Monday and messaged him a number of times, called the school 3 times, but didn't come to Colorado at all.
Right. That's pretty
Mm-hmm.
frantic.
Wasn't Sandy the
Yeah.
first one to call the school on Monday morning?
Yes, she was, before
Yes.
Chris.
And
He
she
called
said,
at
"Don't tell
8:22.
anyone I
Well,
called."
his phone called at 8:26. That's all I'm going to say.
He
I'm not
She
called at
didn't
saying
want anybody to
8:26.
know that she had called the school. I find that kind of odd too.
that was the middle call. That was the 11:30 call. The one where she didn't want anyone to know that she called.
Yeah.
And then there was another one at 3 p.m. But yes, she called between 8 and 8:15. Chris's phone called at 8:26.
I
Yeah.
also find it very odd that she was in touch with Nick quite a few times over those 3 days. I'm sure she was in touch with the Nordstroms
The Lindstroms.
or the Lindstroms. I'm sorry. Trying to read chat at the same time. My brain does not multitask very well.
Well, we know for a
Okay.
fact. I showed it the other day on my channel when Nate called an officer aside and actually spoke to him and said, I don't. I've been in touch with the Ruzic family
Hmm.
since this all began.
Mm-hmm.
So right from Monday, he had been in touch with the Ruzics the entire week, and then it was Nate that actually said the family was turning up Sunday.
Sunday, right?
So it makes it very, yeah. So but Nate had also been way earlier. It was NA that
NA,
was
yes.
instructed to look out for Shanann via Sandy. Basically, Sandy got NA to actually become friends with Shanann.
Hmm.
So NA wasn't actually that keen on it initially, but Sandy pushed it and pushed it. So, and that's how NA and Shanann became friends. Although, because NA was Sandy's boss, remember, back in 2017 at the hair salon
At the salon, correct.
Yeah.
in Colorado. So that's how NA knew Sandy, and it was through Sandy that NA met Shanann.
Shanann.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of a weird circle there.
Oh, absolutely. Wondering why Lauren Arnold set up a GoFundMe so fast. The news show I watched was aired on the 17th, 18th, and GoFundMe said underneath set up 3 days ago. And SW Facebook was set to used to live in Fredericks, Colorado. Oh, I did not know that.
Oh my goodness.
That that her Facebook was set up used to live in Frederick. I did not know that. But I did know that Lauren Arnold set up a GoFundMe pretty quickly. And Danny, the girl who was on my panel when I created my YouTube channel, she actually screenshotted or had a screenshot, and I don't have it anymore. But in my older videos, it must be there. I think it's in the Lauren Arnold interview, where she showed a screenshot of Lauren Arnold's Facebook post. And Sandra is commenting underneath, set up a GoFundMe or something and get a search party together. And they got like $160,000, I heard. I never followed up on this, but yeah.
So Sandy said get a search party together, but she stayed in North Carolina.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Because
Seriously.
they were all living there, right? So and also going back to the 8 a.m. School call, Nicole Atkinson actually did not get wind of it first. It was Cassie Rosenberg.
Right.
Cassie was concerned about Shanann, and because she was not living in Colorado, she sent a message to NA asking her to please go by because she's concerned about Shanann. She had not, responded to any messages or anything. So, and at 8:55, this is when I think it was 8:55. So 8:05 or 8:15 or something, Cassie actually sends Shanann a message, and NA doesn't even know about anything to that point up until Cassie calls her or sends her a message. So after that,
Well, it was 8:43 that NA wrote, "Are you okay?"
Yeah, 8:43. So at 8:43, before that, Sandra even only learned about that something's going on or something's not right.
But Sandy rang the school between 8 and 8:15.
Yeah. Well, this is not stuff we make up. This is in the discovery.
In the
It's all
discovery.
facts.
Exactly right. It's fact.
Yeah. I don't know, Shadow Dancer, if she rang Shanann on Monday. I have
I
not
know
seen
she at least called once.
once. Okay. I
Once.
don't know.
She's tried,
I have not read
apparently.
it.
Once.
Okay, what time was that?
Was in the morning, from what I heard. And I haven't seen the actual verification of that. It's everything I've heard over the last 2 years.
Mhm.
And it comes down to one phone call. Okay.
Mm.
But it's not, there's nowhere to see it in the discovery that it actually occurred.
Yeah, so I distance myself from this because
There, exactly.
it's not recorded anywhere. So
There's no proof that she actually even called her daughter that morning, but she rang the school 3 times.
yeah, but there's also
So-
no proof that she did not call her more than once.
Correct.
But she did call Chris quite a lot.
Yes.
Yes, she did.
In
And
the
she
morning
also
as
talked to him for 12 minutes on Sunday, in
Yes.
between Cody Roberts' text messages.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was strange. And he definitely wasn't at home. What's your opinion about this? I mean, I can share my screen again and show it again. It's just doesn't make sense. So here he is still not at home. He claims he comes home when? 4:30-ish?
He said between 4:30 and 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when he sends that message to Cody, he still has not connected to his home router with either phone. I mean,
Correct.
if his personal phone or his work phone would not connect, I would see that happening,
Mhm.
But both phones, that's weird.
Correct.
That is really
That's
weird.
right.
So unless he had it in the car or whatever, but no, this cannot be the case either because he was texting and calling.
Yeah.
Correct.
So he's messaging him. Then he calls Sandra for 12 minutes or nearly 12 minutes. and this is, everything is happening like at around 5 again.
And then at
No, she is calling.
5:24,
Yeah,
NK
she's calling
calls
Jim.
Jim.
Yeah, they have that leak talk. He's searching some Google stuff, and still not connecting to his router.
Correct.
Here again, there are indicators that he wasn't at home. Like, well, I mean, we don't know, right? But this data doesn't lie. I mean, he would have connected at some point,
Why did he
unless
send
he
that
was on
picture?
the phone all the time.
Why did he
Um,
send that picture that she'd already seen earlier in the day? Like, why would he
exactly,
send
he
a picture
resent it.
of her, of Bella at the party and not one of Cece?
Yeah,
Where was Cece?
Those were the only pictures he had.
And the ones where they ate pizza that morning that she
Yeah.
already had been sent.
But that could have been any morning.
that one. Yeah,
That one, that was that morning, a timeline event.
Oh, okay. The pizza. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the
yeah,
timeline when
and
they ate the pizza and they're dressed in their party clothes. That's what they went to the
dress.
party.
Yeah,
And that was before their nap, because they actually had a nap, and Chris woke them up at 12:30, and at 12:50 they left.
right.
So that they slept, they had a nap in those clothes, and that's what they were seen in the photos at the party. Those clothes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
The
here,
Sunday timeline is, I mean, between, well, TJ knows what I found, but from the time the headlights were in the driveway, which I think was a white car in that driveway, if I remember correctly, on Sunday night.
At
That's
9:23,
it.
or
Yeah.
the earlier one. I think it's 9:23, because there's an 11:25 one, where you first see the headlights, and 11:45.
Right. I believe the first one was when the girls were actually taken out of the house. And those girls were so scared of being with strangers that, I mean, even when he got a babysitter, he had to hang around so that he could sneak out.
yeah.
So it definitely had to be somebody that they trusted.
Well, the only person they really stayed with was McKenna, the Lindstrom's girl.
Yeah.
So yeah, even the other babysitter says, they had to be either sleeping
Mm-hmm.
or, they had to sneak out,
Yeah.
distract them and sneak out. Yeah. So yeah, here you can that's a big indicator for me, that he resent the image from earlier in the day.
Yeah.
Why resend images? Like I explained, why wouldn't he just send her pictures taken from the baby monitor? They always did that, right? She even took
Mm-hmm. She
pictures
had
from the
pictures.
baby monitor, yeah, sending it to her friends, and look what she does while she's sleeping and stuff like that. So why resending anything? This is
Probably
a big
because they were sleeping downstairs. That's what I think.
downstairs.
Right, because they had the blankets and the pillows, and I think they were sleeping, and that was how they got them out. Because, like you said, they wouldn't go with someone that they didn't know.
Uh-huh.
But if they were asleep, like down in the living room, that's why he would not send a picture, because Shanann would be like, why are they sleeping in the living room or the family room, whatever that room is off the kitchen there?
Well, there were makeshift beds in there, and that's what
Right.
actually did a live stream about that.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
There were makeshift
Yeah.
beds in that family room for those kids.
Right.
But this could have been them kids, they were always in their little seats. That
Could have been
little
from
couches
Saturday.
they have.
Could have been from Saturday when they had when the babysitter was over there, and they had a little girls' night just on the couch.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And McKenna also mentions that the house was a mess and not very clean as she used to see the house. She said Shanann was always very, very clean, and this was so unusual. Well, she
And
told her
Shanann
mom.
emphasised to make sure the office was locked. as
Yeah,
well.
okay, but I don't think that's some weird thing to say, because I would do
No,
that probably too. If you have,
yeah,
I mean, McKenna wasn't a stranger, but strange enough not to go into your,
yeah, yep,
private
absolutely.
stuff. Yeah.
Yep,
So still not home at 7:46. And then all this happens. Then at 8:45, he calls Addie. And when he hangs up, he connects.
yeah,
So this is why
9:02.
I'm assuming sometime during this call, he
He
went
comes up.
home. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
where was he? Where was he? Where?
God, I
have-
wish we could fill in the blanks. I have a whole wall full of Chris Watts stuff. It's like forensic files here in my house.
Mhm.
I've got one
When
page of notes.
I
yeah,
have
let's see
pages
it.
stuck all over my wall.
Oh, word.
one of
Framed.
these investigators read stringy walls.
Yep,
Where they put red string and connect
basically what I
everything.
got going on.
Yeah, it's a shame, but it's also very, very good that we have so much. We can track them like to the minute to a certain location, and that's very
Yeah,
good. But there are gaps we cannot explain because we don't have the data.
right.
So
And we all know that the law enforcement, CBI, FBI, they all have that data. They just haven't released it. And to me, there's a reason for that. There's
absolutely,
something there.
Implicates others.
Yeah,
yeah,
there's something there that they're not comfortable with, and that's why they haven't released all the information.
yeah.
Well, I've got to
Um,
head off. I have to head off anyway. So I just want to
yeah,
say thank you for having me up here, TJ.
no problem.
Lovely
You're
to have met
welcome.
you, none of your business, and Mitch earlier, and Catherine. And
You too, Dave. And congrats on the new job.
Congrats on
It's
your
so
thank
job.
you
exciting.
so much. I've got to go and pretty myself up. All right,
Do it.
so
All
see
right.
you all
See you
later, and have
later.
yourself a fantastic day. All right,
Have a good day. Bye
You
bye.
too.
thank you.
Bye
Bye.
bye.
Yeah, like I said, I think we have the full router logs up until so from the 12th to the 15th, I believe. But yeah, we can simply not track them with the big gap, like the 4 or 5 hour gap.
No, there's little bits and pieces that are missing that would tie everything together, and I think they did that on purpose because they know that Chris did not do this on his own. They have
Oh
to
yeah,
know.
yeah. I'm certain that he did not do this on his own. I mean,
Logistically, I think it's impossible for one person to pull that off.
mhm. But then it would, if the kids were brought out to the field on Sunday, what do you guys think about this?
I think if they were brought out to the field on Sunday, they were okay. Chris went to 10:29 first thing that morning, and before he went to 3:19. So I believe he was told the kids were there, and he was looking for them. But
At
he had to get
10:29,
at
you
10:29.
mean?
Yeah,
Oh, when
Okay.
he did that circling around?
yeah. I believe
Yeah.
he was looking for
Mhm.
them. I don't think he knew anything bad had happened to them. I think he thought, somebody had them and they were just taking care of them. But he had to get to 319.
Yeah.
So I call it his drive-by at 10:29 and then went to 319, and that's where he met up with his personal phone. But prior to that, I don't know. That I mean, the kids could have been at the Bat Cave. They could have been at somebody's house.
Or apartment.
Yep.
Oh
Um,
boy.
But I do
Mitch,
believe he sincerely believed that the kids were not harmed at that point.
yeah. So mentioning the kidnapping all the time could be a possibility, right?
Hmm.
So Mitch is saying, isn't there a shadow of a child on Monday morning going to the car? Is that not true? We don't know if that's true. Me personally, I don't see a child. It just doesn't have the shadow of a child. Dawn actually also stated that, he does a kind of a reconstruction, a 3D thingy,
Mm.
and he said in my previous live stream last week that he believes that this shadow is throwing a shadow basically of a person in the garage out onto the pathway or to the driveway. So this would explain, and I agree with Don here, this would explain the shape of the shadow, right? You don't
Yep.
see a little legs, or you don't see a head, or you don't see arms reaching out, pick me up or whatever. You don't see that. All you see is a long shadow.
Right. Long
Yep.
stretched out shadow.
Yeah.
I have always stood by this, that I believe there's more than just Chris there that morning.
Oh yeah.
And the shadow, to me, it looks more like somebody was handing Chris something
Mm-hmm.
than him actually. I mean, whoever it was crouched down, obviously, so they would not be seen. But he leaned forward to get whatever they were handing him, if that
Mm-hmm.
was even Chris.
Yeah.
I
And
don't know.
because you say that, I showed once when he is making way for somebody. When he
Yep.
walks into
When he
the
walks
garage
around. Yep.
from the passenger side door, and he's making way for somebody. He never did that before when he walks in and out. But at this stage, he's like backing down a little bit. So
Mhm.
it's almost like, he wants to let somebody through. It's very weird. You guys can watch it. It's out there on YouTube anyway.
I don't know.
Absolutely.
It makes no sense at
Mm-mm.
all. Why not back the truck up into the garage, close the door, and then load? That makes no sense to me. Why would someone park their vehicle in the driveway when the sun is coming up to put
Uh-huh.
bodies in the truck?
And knowing there's a camera.
Right. You move Shanann's car out, put her car in the driveway, back your truck up into the garage, close the door, nobody sees you. That
Right.
makes no sense.
It's not like he
Mhm.
didn't park the Lexus on the side of the street for a week.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly that. And also, I forgot what I wanted to say.
Sorry.
It's
I
okay.
just had,
It will come
had to
back.
jump in there.
No, I don't think no, I think you're right. No one dead in his car. Yeah, I think I proved that already with Geotap. I mean, there's always a possibility, like with technical stuff, that something goes wrong, or there are always like exceptions, so to speak. But no, not on a way of like 45 minutes. This system would have picked up.
No, and there's
So
no room either. I used to have a huge old Ford 50, and my two kids in the back were scrunched up. Now, this was an
mhm,
older truck with more cab room. It's not possible.
right. And also when they say he never backed his truck up to load the tools. That's not
Right.
entirely true, because in the
Right.
discovery it states that he, since they had that break-in where tools were stolen from the work truck, and cars were broken into in the area, he unloaded his truck Fridays and reloaded his truck Mondays.
Right.
Mhm.
So of them saying he never ever did that ever is not entirely true. Also, he tells us what he loads, like over and over and over again, water jug and laptop and whatnot. He also states in the discovery that he had his large containers
Yep.
loaded in the back seat.
Yep.
And those large bins were actually found when they impounded the truck.
Correct. They were
So,
in the back.
the crime scene analyst listed them in evidence,
Hmm.
those large containers. So, yeah. And if you see I mean, some people say it's not a problem. She would have fit on the floorboard. I don't think so. It's
Mm-mm.
very,
No
very
Well,
narrow.
way.
I've looked at the footage of Shanann getting home, and I have looked over the truck parked in the front, and there are differences in the bed of the truck
Mm-hmm.
that do not look like Chris's truck to me. And I've always wondered because obviously Anadarko had a fleet of trucks, and most companies they will buy the same vehicle because they get them at a discount for
Mm-hmm.
their fleet trucks. It's quite possible that that was not Chris's truck in the front of the house when Shanann got home.
Mm, I don't know. It definitely adds up with his GPS.
Yeah, he could have been parked further back. He could have been parked more towards Nate's side. I'm just the tool bins, the tailgate, everything just looks not like Chris's truck from what I could see.
Hmm.
Because of the pipes sticking out.
The pipes, the 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 toolboxes that were on the sides and up against the back window aren't there. It looks like the tailgate was missing because there's a
Yeah.
big gap there. So it's not doesn't go straight across. It's like the tailgate was removed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Don is saying that he probably rearranged some stuff in the truck bed when he was parked for 4 minutes at Black Mesa Road. Because when when he's captured on Mr. What's his name? Evan
Evan,
or
yeah,
something. Yeah, those pipes are still visible in his truck bed, but they're not standing up like they were when he arrived at home.
right.
And also, the fire extinguisher is added to the back.
Yep.
And it was a expired fire extinguisher on top of that. So I don't think Anadarko would allow, in
Right.
case they get into a traffic stop or something, I don't think they would allow any one of their employees carrying an expired fire extinguisher.
Yeah.
Right. Especially with the lawsuits and the explosion, I would
Yeah.
imagine they'd be really stringent.
Yeah. Yeah, hippie chick, I agree. Dogs would have picked up dead bodies in the house and truck. They didn't. Right. If they would have said, dogs can be sometimes wrong, right? But especially if you bleach or clean with chlor or something like that, it irritates. And I had a case actually here in Germany. Somebody killed his wife, and he buried his wife underneath the garage. So the dogs came in, and the sister of that woman was searching for her sister, and she always felt like this guy had something to do with the disappearance of her sister. So she befriended some cops, and they were doing actually a private search party where they had sniffer dogs, canines, and all that stuff. So they went into the house, they went into the garage, and the dogs didn't find anything. So 20 something years later, that guy died. And he left the house. Obviously, nobody inherited the house. so it was sold on. The new owner allowed the woman to search again for her sister. And they asked the new homeowner, because he wanted to do rebuilds anyway, get rid of the garage and do some refurbishments. He wanted to get rid of some things, so he allowed them to dig up the garage floor. So they did that and brought the dogs in, and still nothing. Then they dug further and further, and they recovered some sort of a hole where this guy stored paint, lac, and all sorts of, strong, smelly things.
That's strange.
And underneath that was a floorboard built in, and underneath those wooden boards, they found her sister.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, so it is possible that, through the stench and the smell of, we might not smell this, but a dog would, obviously. So it irritates the dog's nose. And this is the reason why they did not find that woman's body for so long. And I can see the same thing happening in Chris's house. But then again, you cannot bleach the floor, or, I don't think he bleached the floor in his garage.
No.
So the dogs went also through the garage and did not hit on anything.
And if you look at the carpets going up the stairs, I mean, those are high tread areas.
Yeah.
Those stair carpets were freshly cleaned because none of the fibers were, they were standing up. They weren't like squashed down like a high traffic area would be.
Mm-hmm.
So that's always kind of sparked my interest there. Like,
yeah.
Oh, you can't bleach carpet though. I mean, I don't
no,
would
but they
a
were
regular
freshly cleaned. That's for sure,
Right.
because the fibers were not flattened.
Really?
Yeah,
You didn't
and
think they were squunched? I thought they
No.
were kind of flattened out.
You can see
Huh.
you can see a good picture of it when the cop is running his hands over the stairs. I mean,
Right.
even I'm sure he
Without a
even, wow,
glove.
why is this so clean?
Well, their house was so clean. I mean, who's to say that's just not what it's normally like?
exactly.
You know what I'm
Who is to
saying?
say exactly? Who is to say that it did not smell freshly cleaned all the time?
Right.
Just because they come in and say, oh, it smells like bleach or
Right.
whatever, it doesn't mean, they were clean people, organized people, always cleaning, like obsessively cleaning.
Right. It's a control issue. That's my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Got to have control over something. If you don't have control over your finances, your life, your relationship, you can always clean. I mean, that's, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a mental thing. It's an illness. And it's to some people it's very, 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 very bad, a bad habit, but they can't help themselves. Same with if you walk along a pathway and you count the tiles in the floor.
Right.
Yep.
It's the same habit. It's very, very bad. CW's playdate story was never going to hold up, not when they were meant to be at school. So all eyes would have been on him anyway. In my opinion, this was not premeditated by him. Yeah. Oh yeah. This would not have. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I mean, everybody knew that school started again on Monday. So him saying they're at a play date? No. I agree. Hi, Kate. They were doing a sacrifice on Ascension Day for Anadarko Steel to go through its witchcraft. Just my opinion, and nobody believes me, but I think that's what happened. Yeah.
I've heard that.
Me too. I heard that NK was into some pretty dark stuff, but I mean, I'm the type of person, if I'm not there, to see it, I don't believe it. And sometimes not even then. I mean, it seems to be a fallback when people can't figure things out. It's
Yeah.
devil worship,
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
I don't know what to think about this. I mean, I don't think I don't know. I don't know, but I don't think this has anything to do with devil worship or, And also if you if you go according to the book of this author lady, she I mean it's proven that she added many things
Right.
that he did
Cato.
not even say to her.
Right.
So she might have brought that rumor up or whatever. I know it's disgusting, and that's why they put the girls in the oil, make their gross stuff more powerfully, and is taking about or keeps their souls going. I don't know if that was a ritual. I don't know. I'm generally not believing in these demonic. I don't know. I don't even go there.
Yeah, me either. I mean, take a look at the West Memphis 3. That was a big
Hmm.
thing back
Hmm.
then. They would
And they were
attach
innocent.
things. Right, the
Yeah.
satanic panic thing.
Mhm.
I'm not disputing anyone's beliefs. Trust me, because I had an aunt that was really into that stuff,
Right.
and I understood her and respected her right. But for me, I don't see that. That's just way too complicated for them to work all of that into the scenario of what was going on.
Hmm.
That seems a little convenient.
I find it odd that number one, Chris didn't have enough time to do everything at Servy that they're
Exactly.
saying he did. Um,
Right.
but I find it odd that both NK and Jim just happened to be sick
Yeah.
on,
Hmm.
that specific day. They both were ill. Um, and from that interview that I saw, that the fumes will do that to you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, I mean, if they were sick when they met at the Lazy Dog, then Chris would have definitely been sick,
Yeah, and he wasn't.
and
He
he
did
wasn't.
nothing. Like
Exactly.
no headaches, no feeling ill, no nothing. So yeah, this is another indicator that um something was wrong and more people are involved.
Yeah. I mean, there's no physical way Chris could have done all of that on Monday. And I mean, even the digging the holes with the rain that they had, there's no way.
I
Yeah.
agree. I agree. And if that were, if he was going to dig a hole for Shanann for the time factor, he would have just put the girls in there too.
Yeah.
That's why I think it was on two separate times that the
Yeah.
girls were first, or Shanann was first and the girls were second, or vice versa. I don't believe that it happened all at the same time. It's not possible
Mm-mm.
with one
I don't think
person.
so either.
No,
No.
from the time he left his house to going to Servy 1029 first, and then he meets up with Troy at 319. There's no time frame for him to do that.
Right. Marie, and why did Sandra say to NA, check the knives? That is really odd to say when they haven't been missing but 5 hours. Yeah.
That
So,
one freaks me out every
Mhm.
yeah.
time.
Mm-hmm. Me too. Um, but let's do a reverse thinking. What if she thought that Shanann might do something to herself, and that's why she said check the knives?
Yeah, that
That's
just
possible.
You
right,
know?
because she was so despondent and
Yeah.
so upset.
Yeah. Could be
Maybe
a
that's why she
possibility.
had called the school early to make sure that the girls were there. You know what I'm saying? Like she was concerned that Shanann might have I hate to even say that, but might have done something. And she needed to call to verify at the school because if Shanann wasn't there to bring them, something might have happened.
But at the time she called the school, she didn't even know they were missing.
Right. But she had been with her for what, 6 or 7 weeks?
Exactly. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, could be. Yes, I agree.
I hate to even think about that. So awful.
Oh, I just wish we could fill in the blanks.
Yeah.
You know, I do okay for a while and I'm going along with it. And then boom, talk about gaps. I fall face first off a cliff because this just doesn't make any sense. Like it all
It
makes sense for a while. And then there's so much information missing. You talk about little gaps. They're not little gaps, they're like huge gaps.
uh-huh. 5-hour gaps.
Yeah,
Where
Exactly.
I
nobody knows.
know every time I watch these videos and interviews and go over the discovery, I always try to clear my head and look at it like this is the first time I'm looking at this. And you
Mhm.
always find new little tidbits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're able to put everything you know aside and look at it with a clear mind, you
Mhm.
always find things you didn't see before.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
my
true.
discovery is crap. It's like I don't have the original one. I have the BS
I have
one,
the
you know.
redacted one.
I want to print
Ugh,
it all out, but I'm too cheap to.
I did it, and you know what's funny? There's so many sheets that have like one number on them, and it's blank.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh. I
It's
noticed that
so
as well.
annoying.
Yeah. What do you think of SR saying she felt the children were in oil before we knew they were in oil? That was the phone call, right? Um, she called Officer Goodman, I believe it was,
Yeah.
in the morning.
Yeah.
And yeah. Well, maybe she felt like, he went to the oil field in the morning. So,
Right.
you know,
Like she
I don't
suspected
know,
he would do
intuition
something. Right.
or
Like
whatever.
mom's intuition.
Yeah. Miranda, you're a star. Do you think it's possible the reason he was on his laptop at Survey was to see if the alarms went off when bodies were dropped in tanks? Yes, I
Oh my
do.
God. That is
Yes, I
such an
do.
awesome question.
I do. I truly do believe that.
Yep.
As Troy McCoy states in his interview, they have that guy, Steve,
Hmm.
and he sends them the oil levels to their laptops if there's a leak or something like that, right? So him taking a picture or whoever took that picture um, of the laptop with, and I'm just theorizing here. I don't know what is on that picture because we never saw it. They never released it.
Right.
But I'm assuming that was oil levels. So what I want to know is if he sent the picture of the oil levels to NK, if that was the picture he proved, quote unquote, to be on the side, at site, or at work, as she says. Because if it was that picture, that would be really, really weird.
Oh yeah.
I mean, she's a health and safety kind of girl employed as, but that is just too much of a coincidence. Too much.
Right. So where is she on Monday? Why can't she check that herself? Why does
Exactly.
she exactly? So why does she need a picture?
Mhm.
Because she wasn't logged in at
Right.
work.
Exactly. And as Chris states, they have to check in and they also have to check out. So they know everybody is going home safely. Right? So I think when what I was wondering, why none of the co-workers come forward and say, oh, she was on her desk. She was working with me that morning.
Yeah. Nobody confirms or denies it.
Nobody. They have 200 cameras on the parking lot and around
Hmm.
and we have not. They pull um, totally unrelated stuff like McDonald's or see him in wherever Walmart or whatever he was. They pull hours and hours of that footage, but none of the important things like the Anadarko footage.
Yeah.
Well, because Anadarko didn't want any of that information. I don't know if you guys
Yeah.
looked into Anadarko at all, but besides the lawsuit about the fire,
Mhm.
they sued for sexual harassment and all kinds of stuff. So they want this hush hush. They don't want another controversy. They're selling the company. There's a bidding war going on.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yes. And also keep in mind, those tanks are holding tanks.
Hmm.
And if he would have, or whoever put those girls in the tanks, if they would have put both in the same tank, there would
It would have
have been
gone off.
a sudden
Yep.
oil rise, right?
Yep.
So they put them in different tanks to not raise any suspicion.
And Bella was, I hate to be graphic, but Bella was in the tank with Les. Is that correct?
Mhm. Yeah.
And she's a little bit bigger. So
Mhm.
that stands to reason why Celeste would be in the fuller tank. Just my theory.
Yeah, it makes sense. If you think about it, it makes sense. Especially when, they have a leak and this is monitored, the site is monitored, and then a sudden oil rise. This would have been alerted
it's-
everybody.
Right.
Right.
It's the opposite of what should be going on out there. If you
Right.
believe that whole leak thing, which I
Yeah.
don't. I've seen the
I don't believe
picture.
the leak thing
That's
either.
that's a splash. You don't get a
Mhm.
line like that from a leak. You get a puddle
Yes.
from a leak. There's a line that goes up to
Yeah.
that pipe. That's from a cup or a bucket being tossed onto that pipe.
Yeah.
Look at the little line right there on the bottom.
Yeah. And the line goes this way. So
Right.
there are the holding tanks.
Yep.
And the pipeline in the ground goes this way to the pump
Hmm.
and to the wellhead. So there must be a leak like right in this area to cause that circle of oil.
Right. It would be, you would see a big, long, dark
Yeah.
mark.
Yeah. Yes, I agree. That does look more like a spill than anything. And Melissa Parrish saying when she arrived, she saw him digging up a hole already around here.
Yep.
To look where the leak comes from. But when you look at the drone footage, they just left it like that. They
And it
just
was
left
there
it.
all weekend, so it would have been
Yeah.
way worse than
Right.
that.
They would have, at least so they didn't get a fine, taken some gravel and tossed
Exactly.
it over it.
Yeah. And one other thing as well, these pumps or the oil well site was operating up until the 15th or the 16th.
Yep.
So constant pumping oil into the holding tanks would have caused a bigger leak
A
than that.
huge, huge leak. That looks like a toss to me.
Especially because they state that they weren't able to fix the leak or find the leak.
Right. But there's so much
Imagine,
surface oil there.
yeah, imagine the pump going and going and going.
Right.
And Cody only found that on Friday.
Right. And they let it go all weekend. You would think they would
Mhm.
have an emergency crew on the weekends to deal with issues like this. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, those tanks are so volatile. I don't know if you guys heard that story about the oil tank. I think it was in PA that they were not maintaining, and a teenage girl was sitting on
Yeah.
top of it, and it just exploded.
Oh my God.
Just
jeez.
exploded and threw her and killed her. So I can't imagine them leaving an active leak when they've already had homes
So
blow up.
many. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah. All very, very suspicious. I just want to know where he was in those 5 hours.
Yeah, he was
And
in
also
someone else's car. That's
Mhm,
what I think.
possibly.
You know what you said about the black box on the on the Lexus. If we had that information, because if
Oh,
he
that was
drove somewhere,
yeah,
after the party, we would know it.
Right.
exactly. Exactly. We would know, but I don't think they were. I don't know if they did not have interest in to look all the stuff they could do, or
No,
it was just wrapped up too
too
quick.
much money. Yeah,
Too much money, yeah. I mean, as a private person, up to 20 grand, that's not going to happen, especially
what
not
would
in
you?
the first place.
Could you say that again? I'm sorry, I was looking at a question. I missed what you said about the 20 grand.
Yeah, as a private person to get the
Oh, I gotcha.
information, what's in your black box, it's between 2 and 20 grand.
Man, that kills me. We have to pay for their data mining. That what you were saying about, you have to have that service if you lease a vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
Like they want to track your movements, but you have to pay for it so they can mine your data and sell it.
Yeah,
That just seems
yeah. I mean, it's
uh,
for, in insurance purposes, because if you
right,
lease a car, at some point you can give it back or
right,
keep it or whatever, and they want to make sure you treat it good,
right,
right? It's also when, you owe money to them, or when you give the car back, you might still owe money to, pay it off, and then they
right.
determine what's it worth. Nacho Mama, I'm one of the only 5% of people that believes his first confession, and I get stoned for saying such. You won't get stoned here,
Nope.
Nacho Mama. And it's definitely more than 5%, I can assure you that.
Yeah, just not a lot of people say it just for the reason you're speaking of, I
Hmm.
think.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many questions remaining in this case. And I feel like too, if you say something that does not, show Shanann in a good light,
Right.
then you get back, you get, like
Oh, I've
Nacho
gotten
Mama
it.
says, you get stoned. But no, it's, never anyone looked into that possibility. That people say, Tammy Lee brought that up and she put that into his mind. But if you listen very carefully, she talks about many, many cases with him
Yeah.
Right,
before the polygraph. She does not
right,
only say, um, you know, she could have done something or did she do something. She was talking about many, many, many cases. So he could have picked each and every one if he wanted to.
Hmm.
right.
And then Coda saying, she was very controlling, and you know, God knows what they were expecting him to say. God knows. Maybe they would have, like his defense team said, if you want us to go with the story that she killed the girls, we will. It's like, nothing is proven or disproven for me personally in this case.
Nothing. Oh
No,
boy.
everybody can state their opinion,
Without questions, we don't move forward.
right. Hmm.
Without questions and opinions, I always say the only stupid question is the one you don't ask.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And in a
Yep.
case like this, if it wasn't wrapped up and closed so quickly, of course they're gonna look into her past. This is what
Hmm.
they do, because they, in every case, the victim's past gets investigated as well, because they want to make connections. They want to see what they, did they lead a double life, or were they involved with the wrong people, or, they, even though sometimes it comes out it was just a normal person, but they still have to investigate this. My theory is Shannon was still there when he left and was in middle of getting dressed when it happened, which explained half dressed and new top and a certain ping after he left. That's a good theory too.
Mhm.
That she was still there when he left
In the morning, you mean?
in the
Still
morning.
okay.
I was
I don't
I
theorizing.
know.
still
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
You girls go.
I still think that because Chris did not know what Shanann was wearing, um, that somebody, whoever was helping him, changed her clothes to hide evidence.
Mm-hmm.
Really? Because I can totally see her coming in the house, kicking off her flip flops, quick running in to change her shirt, because she's stinky or whatever, take her pants off, check on her kids. Oh, kids are not here. Where are the kids? Go back downstairs, go down in the basement. She's in her underwear and a shirt. I can
Yeah.
totally see that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just find it odd that, I mean, if Chris had murdered Shanann and taken her out to 319, we all know he has a good photographic memory from what we've been told. He would have remembered those details.
Absolutely. I think so too. And this is why I thought in the previous live stream, why didn't they take the clothes into evidence? Have
Right.
they ever looked for Shannon's shirt or pants she wore when she got home? We never saw that ever again.
Nope.
The only clothes we saw was what she was wearing when she was in North Carolina from that pile of clothes that were in the bedroom.
Right. And what was laid out on the bed.
Oh,
Right.
that gave me the creeps. The lay
Me too.
and
Oh
and
God.
the shorts. It was
Yeah.
like, because that means hello or goodbye. And those shorts and that shirt were in her suitcase. So someone
Yes.
actively took it out and put it
Yeah.
on the bed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And who was it? That's the question, because Chris wasn't at home anymore.
No.
Right.
I don't know any man
Someone was
that would
in that
do
house.
that.
And it was
Yeah.
all laid out on the bed. Like, that was so creepy. So creepy.
Well, the Vivint alarm that
Ugh.
went off at after NK had gone to the doctor's office, that Chris got notified of. I believe that's when someone exited out the garage. Was right after NK or NA had left to go check on the doctors.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So you think someone was in the house and when
As soon as she
NK
left,
was
they
she
opened
got
that garage
spooked?
door, hit the
Yeah.
button, jumped the beam, and went
Mm-hmm.
out. And that would have not even been enough time to trigger Nate's alarm, his security
I don't
cam.
know, because that whole garage door thing. Now, when I had my house out in Unionville, I had a really old house, and it was an old garage door, and it was banged up. And even in that state, the eye still worked. You could not run out that door. It
Oh,
was
I've done it several
impossible.
times. I did construction for 30 years, and to secure a building, you just push the button, run, step over that beam, and you can get out.
Mm-hmm. I'll
I've
show you
never
guys
been able
something
to do
real
it.
quick,
Okay.
because you were saying, that oh, where is it? Can I even share that? Hold on a sec. I might not be able to share it, but I'm gonna take a screenshot of the router lock. Just give me 1 second. I'm gonna show you that something triggered Alexa
Oh, in the house.
in the
At the
house.
same time?
That was not an IP renewal. Hold on, I'm gonna just put it in here. It wouldn't let me share it for some reason, but I can go around this. Here. At 12:18.
Yep.
Something triggered Alexa.
Oh, right.
Yeah. And what time was NA there?
Is
I
that when she was like yelling in the door or something?
Mm-hmm. Could be. But it could also be that somebody else was in the house.
Yep.
Right. That's what I'm thinking. Like whoever was in that house got spooked by NA. And when she took off to go to the doctor, that's when they exited the house.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't understand why they wouldn't just go through the basement where they
Maybe
couldn't
they
be
did.
detected. Right. Because I can appreciate someone saying, oh, yeah, I've jumped under the garage door. Maybe it was just mine. But
Mhm.
that's a safety feature. They could get sued big time. And that was a new house. So I don't imagine that would not have that safety feature on there. I don't know. I personally would think they'd have to go through the basement or
Well,
out the
Chris
back
got
door.
2 Vivint alerts that day.
He
One
did?
was
What
after
time?
NK went to the doctor's office, and the other was the interior garage door. He got
Mhm. Yeah.
alerted.
Yeah, at 10:30, 12:30 something, right?
Yeah, after he had left.
Right. So there was no alert for the outside door, just the inside door?
Inside garage door. Yes.
Huh. So maybe
Um,
someone went and peeked out the garage window, and then went back in the house and left, like to see
Right.
who was in the, you know.
Yeah,
Huh.
it's I don't know. All right, you
I,
guys.
I I could do this forever down the rabbit hole. Yeah.
Oh,
Me
no
too.
kidding.
Me too. Me too. But yeah, we're getting there. No doubt about it. I mean, we dig in and dig in, and the more you listen to interviews, the more you watch stuff. When I prepare something for a live stream, one thing takes me to another, and I just get distracted, and I say, oh my God, I never saw that before, or I never saw that before. It just happens when you read through the discovery or re-listen to interviews.
Oh, that's how I am when I see things on these videos that I watch and something new comes up. I just get chills and feel sick to my stomach going, oh, well, TJ knows because I message her.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Sometimes it's like I can't even sleep.
I know.
I truly can. It's sometimes I'm up and thinking and thinking and thinking until I fall asleep because I'm getting a headache.
Yep.
But yeah, other than that,
I do the same thing.
when I was going through Shanann's Facebook, I found something quite and very, very interesting. Yesterday or the day before yesterday, I'm not going to show you tonight. I'm going to show you next week. But this is very, very interesting. And I got to talk to Dawn about that as well. I talked to Dave about it, and I got to talk to Dawn because it's also, again, it has to do with their Ring doorbell camera. And I
Ooh.
found something by mistake where I was thinking, oh my God.
Oh
And
my.
let's see if you guys have that oh my God feeling as well. Next
I
do it
week.
again.
certainly hope so.
Yeah.
Oh my God. In my
Oh,
best New York
let me
accent.
turn my camera on. I hope
Oh,
so.
I have
because-
something. If I could, real quick, before I forget.
Yeah, Absolutely.
I'm not a Facebook person, but I have one because my family's on there. But Shanann's Facebook is memorialized, just like my
Mm-hmm.
brother's page. But
Mm-hmm.
I can access all of his information because we're friends on Facebook. He's my brother.
Yeah.
Now, I was never friends with Shanann on Facebook, but I can only see her posts as far back as when she started Thrive in 2016, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
Is that because it's memorialized and we were never friends? Or is it because it's Thrive using her page to push their product? How does that work?
Maybe she restricted, sometimes on Facebook from time to time, if you put out public posts, there's a section where you can just restrict previous posts to only friends. So
Okay.
she could have done this either, or she just decided to make certain things, before 2016, not for the public eye.
I gotcha.
This is, what I think could have happened, because Facebook also, I'm not very often on Facebook, and I should be, because of my groups. But sometimes Facebook, when you do, you get those privacy checks from time to time,
Mm,
and then they ask you, do you want to, restrict your previous posts or older posts to friends only, or you can even make all the posts public, and maybe she did something like that.
mm, okay. I would think
Yeah.
she would leave it all public just because of Thrive. Here I am in my conspiracy theory. Thrive is using her page to push their product. It's just, that's what happens.
They sure did earn a quite substantial amount of money, didn't they?
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Well, it is what it is. It's always money, 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 money.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, guys,
All
for
right, TJ, I'm going to log off and
me too.
wish you and your family the
You
best.
too.
And for
Thank
all of
you
our
so
people
much.
out there, stay well, stay safe, and tell
You
your
too.
friends and family you love them often.
Absolutely do. Thank you,
Yeah.
girls, for being here.
Thank you,
And
TJ.
it was a very, very nice discussion. I really enjoyed that.
Me too. Blessings and light.
See you guys next week.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Good night. All right, you guys. That was another great little live stream. I went over, what did I say? I don't want to do any more than an hour and a half. Okay. Yeah, I am not doing myself any justice here. Thank you, Dave. For everybody who just joined, the first half of this live stream is talk about oh, and I didn't change my background. I just see, well, whatever. The first half, for everyone who doesn't want to be involved in the discussion or hear us talking about itty bitty things and this and that, just watch the first half of this live stream. All right, you guys, I'm gonna be doing next week. I will be showing you what I found. I gotta do a little bit more research on it before I show to you. And what do you guys think about? I was thinking today, I was re-listening to his Wisconsin confession. I know I did already a video about it, but what I wanted to do is a video with his confession in the background, and then put all the evidence and all the things we know, like putting it as a video, and we can all watch it together. So pictures and what he says, and so we can filter out if his Wisconsin confession actually is true, or if he made that up, or if he's going along the stream from the girl in the UK. Yeah, I was just thinking this might be nice to do. What else did I want to say? Yeah, what else did I want to say? Did I miss anything? It will come up. My brain is not working right. Thank you, Jolina. Yeah, I tried to fix my hair on my own. Still a little bit yellow. It's supposed to be white, but yeah. All right, you guys. Next week I'm gonna be only doing a Q&A. Gonna be showing you some stuff I found during the week. And yeah, we can also do another open panel if you guys want. This was very, very good. Love always to talk to you. So stay safe until next time. And there was something else I forgot to tell you, but I can't remember now. Anyways, stay safe, stay out of trouble, and tell your family you love them every day. And until next time, see you. Bye-bye.